My name is Shana White, and I came to Alexander far too late in my voice career and my singing, and always knew there was something missing, and had heard about Alexander Technique, and it was a revelation. It's really a revelation because it frees all the muscling that I used to do to reach all the notes and make the sound I thought was correct. It teaches you how to release the muscles everywhere from top to bottom, which affects your body. Of course, your body's your instrument, and it's the most difficult musical instrument that you can use because it's incorporating your heart, your brain, your vocal cords, and everything, and everything physical. So it's also the most exquisite if it's and can reach your heart. The audience's heart responds so greatly because if it's truthful, it means so much. So I'm very grateful to be a singer. I think I was born to be a singer, and to continue learning and to hear a voice that I have now is very satisfying, very gratifying, and I'm very grateful to get granted. Very grateful.
Brittany. Yes, and my name is Brittany St. Clair, and I've been studying opera for about 6 years now, and for the last 4 years I've been taking Alexander Technique lessons. The last 2 years have been with Gabby, which has been so fun. And I think there's kind of two general domains that I think of incorporating Alexander Technique into my practice. The one is the practice room, and then the other is kind of the day-to-day use of Alexander Technique when you need it in that split second in a stressful situation. So in the practice room, I really enjoy using Alexander Technique to be more methodical and gentle when learning a new piece. You know, it's so easy to want to muscle our way through, but when you come to pieces that are really technically challenging or vocally demanding, just being methodical and breaking it down through Alexander Technique tools has been really helpful for me. And another situation might be where a piece may put me in a performance situation that I feel maybe insecure or just not super confident, and that might look like coming to a lesson with Gabby, performing it in a lower stakes environment, and then just looking at what is my body's response in that, in reacting to those emotions, the negative self-talk or the anxiety or stage fright, whatever it may be. And then we look at breath and apply other Alexander Technique tools to then make that scary situation into a really positive performance outcome. And then so the day-to-day can look like being in rehearsal and a really well-meaning director or coach may give some feedback, you know, more diction, more expressivity, but maybe they don't give a very specific solution to that request. And Alexander Technique has really given me confidence in this area to, instead of my habit, which is to do that with more effort, you know, give more T's and P's and in my diction, and instead taking a moment to look at the quality of my vocal coordination, listen to my breath, take a moment to just make that a priority for being more easeful in my production, and then, you know, it just allows that genuine expressivity to come through, or that diction to be easier because you have that vocal breath support and ease.
Do you remember a time singing before Alexander Technique? And can you talk a little bit about the difference?
Yes, I think, yeah, again, back to my habit of doing more effort, because I thought, oh, more diction, so that means I need to work harder. I'm not working hard enough. But I've come to find through Alexander Technique that it's not really a matter of doing that thing more, but rather looking for the best quality of that thing. If it's diction, okay, what muscles are we using? And what muscles do we not need to use? What's getting in the way?
Remember singing pre-Alexander lessons?
You know, the biggest thing for me was the breath, because when I was a young student, I overheard my teacher tell my wonderful teacher tell my accompanist if only I could breathe more deeply. So from that moment on, I went, a clavicular breath, which is, we all know, the wrong breath. It's trapped air, raised shoulders, lots of tension. And so for me to understand the expansion that you need and to stay in that inhalation state, so you don't press the ribs out and you don't lock them out, you just allow them to maintain that space as long as you can. And then let that diaphragm, which is, I think, second largest muscle in your body, to do what it has to do involuntarily. You cannot push it.
One of the things I asked you to think about is warm-ups and how you, well, I'm going to assume that you are using Alexander concepts in your warm-up. And if you don't mind showing and not just telling, what would a warm-up look like, and speaking through some Alexander concepts that you're integrating, and do it joyfully and without, no judgment, just we'll see.
So when I get up in the morning, I'm aware from the time that I stand on the ground that I need to stand not on top of the ground, but I need to go below the ground so that I'm released and not shortening all the psoas muscles, which are such an important part of the support of your body for your day, which is still difficult because, I'm old and old habits are hard to get rid of. But it's so affirming. It's so life affirming that I have this method with me all day long. And so by the time I get to my warm-up, I walk. I try to do everything in Alexander that sets me up in the proper, what's the word? I want to say noble posture or poise, where your joints are free and you feel free and your head is, you can move your head easily. And I do
Position of mechanical advantage.
okay, and then you're leaned over a little bit, and that's a perfect position to breathe, because then you can feel the breath come in and open you up under your arms. Keep your chest up, open and relaxed, so you don't hold, because holding the chest is holding the vocal cords tight, the neck, and everything in the neck. I have a band. Any exercise band or belt would work, but it's great if it's elastic, because you're going to breathe into it. You put it around the back of you, the middle back, and then you just get a little tension, and then you're breathing directly into your windpipe. A nasal breath is great if you can do that. Just keep your mouth open a little bit and then breathe into your nose. It's a very good part of Alexander's teaching, so that it's a silent breath and it goes in where you need it to go. And then it doesn't have to be so big, which was my mistake. I was always trying to overbreathe. And I think a lot of singers do. And then the air really doesn't go in high enough and you lock it here. And then you have that little inner smile and away you go.
Do you want to show us?
Sure. I'm going to show you two ways. I'm going to show you my habitual way. You see, it's really not resonating where I need it to be. And then
Thank you.
first thing in the morning. Okay.
So for warm-ups, I really love doing slides and glides to start, and we do SOVT, which can look like lip trills, or so I might start with like a 2-octave glide. I'd go and even in that first one, I'm thinking, okay, well, what's happening in my body as I'm doing that? could I have breathed more deeper? Probably. Let's try again. And I use a lot of observation because sometimes I'm not always looking forward to warm-ups like Shayna, and I just jump right in and then I think, oh, well, how could we make the quality a little bit better? So I might think about my sitting bones as I'm sitting here and thinking maybe a deeper breath down into the floor. Even then, I'm already feeling that the higher notes were a lot easier to reach.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, please.
So when you go to the higher notes,
Mm-hmm.
consider a smile
Okay.
and opening from the inside and allowing the shoulders to drop. 'Cause
Okay.
as soon as you go up, maybe.
It tends to do that, yeah. And usually I would have a mirror in front of me or a recording device so that I know what's happening. Or having Gabby in the room is extra good. Yeah, I felt more resonant on the top, thinking of that inner smile on the inside. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Okay.